Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Akbar Sadiat from English Department 3C, and in this video I'm going to complete the Islamic Education Philosophy course final exam assignment by presenting about Ibn Khaldun. First, let's look at the biography of the Ibn Khaldun. Who is Ibn Khaldun? Ibn Khaldun, or Abu Said, or Ab ar-Rahman Ibnu Muhammad Ibn Khaldun al-Hadrami was an Arab scholar of Islam, social scientist, and historian who has been described as the founder of the modern disciplines of historiography, sociology, economic, and demography. Abdurrahman bin Muhammad bin Al-Hasan al-Jabir, generally known as the Ibn Khaldun, was born in Tunis AD 1332 into an upper-class Andalusian family of Arab descent. The family ancestor was Hadrami, who shared a kinship with Wa'il ibn Hajar, which held many high offices in Andalus, and then they emigrated to Tunisia after the fall of Senile to the Reconquista in AD 1248. Ibn Khaldun's life is relatively well documented, as he wrote an autobiography. In his autobiography, Khaldun traced his descent back to the time of Muhammad SAW through an Arab tribe from Yemen, especially the Hadramut, which came to the Iberian Peninsula in the 8th century at the beginning of the Islamic conquest. Ibn al-Khaldun have several works. One of these, Kitab al-Ibar, that write about history of the Berbers and expanded to the universal history in a 7 book. The book 1 is Al-Muqaddimah, about socio-economic, geographical, universal history of empires and the best known of his work. The book 2 until 5 about world history. Book 6 and 7 about historiography of the Berbers and the Maghreb. Khaldun differed from the classical style of Arab historian by synthesizing multiple, sometimes contradictory sources without citation. He reproduced some errors originated probably from 14th century first source, the work Raud al-Kirtas by Ibnu Abizar, yet al-Ibar remains an infallible source of the Berber history. According to the Arab scholar Sati al-Husri, the Muqaddimah may be read as a sociological work. The work is based around the Ibn Khaldun central concept of asabiyah, which has been translated as a social cohesion or also tribalism. The social cohesion arises spontaneously in tribes and other small kinship groups. It can be intensified and larger by the religious ideology. Ibn Khaldun analysis looked at how this cohesion carries group to power but contains within itself the seed, psychological, sociological, economic, political of the group downfall, that to be reshaped by a new group, dynasty, or empire born by a stronger. Perhaps the most frequently cited observation drawn from the Ibn Khaldun work is about the notion that when a society becomes a great civilization, its high point is followed by the period decay. This means that a group of barbarians once solidify their control over the conquered society. However, they become attracted to its more refined aspects, such as literary and art, and either assimilated into or appropriate subcultural practice. Then, eventually, the former barbarian will be conquered by the new set of barbarians who will repeat the process. His best-known book, the Muqaddimah or Prolegomena, which he wrote in 6 months, as he states in his autobiography, influenced 17th century Ottoman historians like Khatib Shalabi, Ahmad Cevdet Pasha, and Mustafa Naima, who used its theories to analyze the growth and decline of the Ottoman Empire. Ibn Khaldun taught on Islamic education. Ibn Khaldun viewed the case of education and children upbringing from a social thinker perspective. Ibn Khaldun integrated the social program with the behavioral ones in a way that all science become a combination of both. He believed in the influence of behavioral education. He assumed that learning leads to a state of transition in both the individual mean and the individual manners. Furthermore, Ibn Khaldun started by dividing science into two categories. One that man released by instinct, and the other is acquired through education. Ibn Khaldun compromised four different sciences, or as they called the intellectual science. The first is logic, a science protecting the mind from the error, and in the process of evolving unknown facts, one attempt to know from the available known facts. And the second, psychic, is the study of the element substance perceivable by the senses, namely the mineral, the plant, the animal, which are created from the elemental substance, the heavenly bodies, natural motion, and the soul from which the motion originated, and the other thing. Third is metaphysics, is the study of metaphysical and spiritual matter. And the fourth is measurement, comprises four different sciences which are mathematical science, geometry, arithmetic, music, and then astronomy. Ibn Khaldun had put forward several principles that served as guidance to the education, and he summarized his main remarks concerning the standard of conduct as follows. First, education should be taken gradually in order to be useful. Second, a student who specializes in a specific segment efficiently will be ready to learn another easily. Third, the process of education shall be done permanently and fixed with periods so that children would not forget what they had learned. Fourth, different sciences must be taught at different time. 5. Being hard with the student would lead to negative results such as the weakening the student enthusiasm and leading to the laziness, encouraging lying and teaching dishonesty and wickedness. From then, the variation in educational system started among the Islamic countries. In Morocco, children learn only Quran until they either became professional or they drop it from studying. That is why Ibn Khaldun said they used to be the best in memorizing the Quran. In Andalusia, children learn Quran with Arabic poetry, grammar, and writing. Tunisian resembled Andalusian because some Andalusian sheikhs settled in Tunisian and transferred their educational method. In the East, children learn some subjects such as the art of writing besides the Quran. Finally, Ibn Khaldun compared this method and found the best way for perfection in Arabic-speaking language and described the system which was suggested by the judge Abu Bakr al-Arabi, who said that in his point of view, Ibn Khaldun preferred the latter system except for the fact that it neglected the inherited cultural reason. Well, I think that's all from me. Thanks for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.